Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is set to be released in theaters on May the 4th, and there have been an array of spoilers from the upcoming film ranging from multiple iterations of its story to who will be appearing as cameos. I'm as stoked as the next person for this movie, but in a recent interview, Benedict Cumberbatch said he doesn't even know if this is his story anymore. That prompted me to take a look into the leaks of the film's plot and the many rumored cameos that are supposedly going to appear. But before we begin, I want to preface this by saying that there will be spoilers. In case you don't want to be spoiled, please click off now. From the different versions of this film story that I've read, I've kind of seemed to understand or at least piece together what this grand scale epic event is about. The story of Multiverse of Madness is about three characters: Dr. Stephen Strange, Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, and America Chavez, a newcomer to the MCU. Chavez, with the power to travel through the multiverse, is chased by Gargantos, who's actually Shumagorath but under a different name due to licensing issues. America seeks the help of Doctor Strange, who's attending the wedding of his ex Christine Palmer, and the two together do battle against Shumagorath. Realizing the deep trouble America's in, Doctor Strange asks Wong to take her to Kamar-Taj, and Strange seeks the help of Wanda but soon realizes that she's the one who orchestrated the attack by summoning Shuma to go after America Chavez. Apparently, Wanda needs America's powers in order to travel through the multiverse and look for her sons Billy and Tommy, whom at the end of WandaVision are believed to be in danger, but this is all thanks to the Darkhold's influence. Doctor Strange and the Scarlet Witch fight, but Strange loses and Wanda goes to Kamar-Taj to find America Chavez, and Doctor Strange follows after Wanda. And that's the story so far. Aside from Shumagorath making his official Marvel Cinematic Universe debut in this film, there were also other big surprises in the leaks that I believe everyone, including myself, didn't expect, and that was the reveal of the Multiverse Illuminati. The Multiverse Illuminati, from all the leaks that I've read, will include Professor X from the 20th Century Fox X-Men films, but played by Patrick Stewart, not the James McAvoy one. Reed Richards, played by Ewan Griffith from those mid-2000s Fantastic Four films. Peggy Carter, but as Captain Carter from What If. Monica Rambeau, who in her universe is possibly considered as their Captain Marvel. Balder the Brave, who will most likely be played by the great Bruce Campbell. And a variant of Mordo, who might be the Sorcerer Supreme of his world. These six make up the Multiverse Illuminati, and their main goal is to watch over the multiverse by keeping it in check. But these aren't the only set of characters rumored to appear in the film. Clea, a sorceress who was a disciple of Doctor Strange and often his lover in the comics, will be making her MCU debut in this film as a variant of Christine Palmer for some reason. I guess that's the only way Strange and Christine could be together, is by having him fall in love with their other universe counterpart. There have been rumors of others like Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine, Eric Bana reprising his role as Bruce Banner from the 2003 Hulk movie, but apparently he can't become the Hulk anymore. Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, which I gotta say I actually hope happens. Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, and apparently he'll be the first to make a mention of Mephisto in an MCU story. Tom Cruise as an Iron Man variant, Halle Berry as Storm, and the list goes on. But hey, if you really want to get people jumping out of their seats, let's bring back this version of Captain America, or hey, how about these guys? You see where I'm going with this? A certain portion of Phase 4 stories deal with multiverse shenanigans, but I want to quickly talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, seeing as it was the latest MCU entry to deal with complications of the multiverse. Spoilers in case you haven't seen No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home was a triumphant love letter to us Spider-Man fans, and a lot of its success is due to the story being written around the return of these legacy characters, as the MCU Peter Parker's main goal is to change the fate of these villains. We get to see the return of Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, Jamie Foxx as Electro, and Sandman and the Lizard. But these three villains in particular were dealt terrible fates, dying at the hands of the Spider-Man from their universes. You can call Spider-Man No Way Home fan service to the max, but it's the good kind of fan service, as it feels natural and rewarding when you're watching it, because although the story is primarily about MCU Peter Parker, it also allows the other two Spider-Man to get closure with the villains from their respective universes, and even allows Garfield's Spider-Man to redeem himself by saving MJ and healing past trauma for not being able to save Gwen, the love of his life. But in a film like Multiverse of Madness, where an ensemble cast of characters we grew up watching in theaters as kids are rumored to appear, it almost feels like they're just appearing because they can and not because it's integral to the plot like the legacy characters in No Way Home were. Now, let's say hypothetically in the film Wanda and Strange's battle gets out of hand, right? I can definitely see a situation similar to that of the fight between the Watcher and Ultron Vision from What If, where Wanda and Strange fling themselves across the multiverse, and that's where we see all these cameos. For example, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man could just be chilling, swinging around New York, and his spider senses go off. He dodges the two from almost knocking into him. It's cool but random and doesn't really mean anything to the film, especially if he doesn't make a return later on in the movie. Also, if Hugh Jackman were to reprise his role as Logan aka Wolverine as a cameo in this film, I don't think it would undermine the film Logan because Logan's story is set in the distant future and they can easily pull him from the ending of Days of Future Past. Nostalgia is a fun feeling, but it can also be blinding for some, and with each new lead that comes out of Multiverse of Madness, it's just been cameo after cameo. Hell, Marvel even contacted Ben Affleck to see if he'd want to reprise his role as Daredevil. And just the other day, John Krasinski, who played Jim Halpert on The Office, was announced as a rumor to be playing first a variant of Mr. Fantastic in Multiverse of Madness. Okay, that's just a W for all of us if it turns out to be true. It almost feels like this movie is a vehicle for Marvel to show off all the IPs they can now play with by teasing their eventual inclusions into the MCU. We know the Fantastic Four and the X-Men are coming to the MCU, as films for them are currently in the works or at least being planned. Perhaps these variant versions of those characters appearing in this film is to prepare fans for their MCU debuts, even though this film would technically count as one. I'm hyped for the rumored cameos, but my concern and biggest takeaway from all of this is hopefully Marvel doesn't sacrifice the story just because they want to one-up themselves after No Way Home. Like, I'm not even worried about who's working on this film because I'm a fan of Sam Raimi and his directing approach to projects, as he has his own style that sets him apart from others. And the script is being handled by one of the writers of the Loki TV series, Michael Waldron, and Loki the show is one of the best things in my opinion to come out of Phase 4. But at the end of the day, the story of this film is about Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, America Chavez, and Wong to an extent because I like his character. Marvel can achieve the goal of one-upping themselves by having the smorgasbord of cameos be important to the story and not just mindless fan service that would only be hyped in the moment, but we'll cross that bridge on May the 4th later this year when Multiverse of Madness is released. I'm looking very forward to it. Thanks for clicking on this video. Please let me know your thoughts and ideas in the comment section down below. Please make sure to like and subscribe, as it will really help the channel and help me gauge what kind of content you would like to see going forward. Thanks once again, and we'll talk in the next video.